Hey everyone, welcome to another Drum Talk TV News Desk report. Doing this on a Thursday again because that's how our schedules worked out, and we're working out when to do it next week. But yeah, we're here now, and we got lots of stuff going on. We got a
Yeah,
Q&A with Chris Welch coming up this Saturday. We'll explain how you can be part of that, participate in that, and we also got some music news. But
yeah.
introductions are in order. I'm Steven Schinder. This is
I'm
Danielle
Danielle
Major.
Major.
Yeah, in case anyone doesn't know us. So, Danielle, you
Yes.
have the icebreaker this time
All
around.
right. Yeah. And we'll try to keep this one contained because I know it's a good topic, but
Yeah, it's a
it's
thought provoking one.
it's
Yeah.
a very thought-provoking. What musician or maybe music artist of some sort um did you think that maybe died too early? Or like a death of a musician that really impacted you?
Mm.
Whether you were a fan and then they passed, or you discover them, then learn that they passed, any kind of impact of an artist that you thought, maybe went too early or could have been more, or just in general, just them passing just really impacted you in general.
Yeah. So that could be answered a couple different ways because
True.
the too early aspect, there's definitely those who pass away way
Hmm.
too young, like in their 20s or
Hmm.
30s, but
Yep.
there are also some artists who pass away when they're older, and even so, it feels so soon, especially if you have
Hmm.
like a huge connection to
Yep.
those musicians. Like
Yep.
on over on Yes Shift, I've talked about the like three Yes musicians who've passed away from there, and in Emerson, Lake and Palmer, I remember the passings of Keith Emerson and Greg
Hmm.
Lake really hit me, like, feeling really sad the next day at college. I vividly remember that after Keith's passing, especially how he went out. But yeah, those are a few that come to
Hmm.
mind. And whenever any musician or anybody passes, like it's always sad, and like we
You
don't
have
mean
like a
to
top,
minimize.
well, like, all right, let's condense it. If you have a top three, let's say top three died too early, and then like a top three, they died and it was impactful. What about that?
Right. Yeah, so for the died too early, I guess, like, there's the historical ones like
Hmm.
John Lennon,
Hmm.
Elvis Presley, and
Buddy Holly.
yeah, that's another one.
It's a good
So,
one. Yeah. I have some specific ones. I'm a huge Jeff Buckley fan, and his whole story. Do you know his whole story? Like what happened to Jeff Buckley?
I'm not super familiar.
So, you know who Tim Buckley is? He was popular in like the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, it sounds
Um,
familiar. Yeah.
yeah. So Tim Buckley and Jeff Buckley actually died kind of early. Tim Buckley, I think it was in his 30s,
Wow.
and his son also died. I think he was 29, maybe 30. So, do you know Jeff Buckley's music at all? Like, have you heard in like the Hallelujah, which everybody knows?
Oh, yeah,
Hmm.
I have
Hmm.
probably heard that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He to me, he has like one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard in any man singing, and his
Mm.
range was actually like, I don't know if you've seen those graphs where they take men like vocal singers and take their range like of octaves they can sing. He can go real low, real high, and it was just his beautiful falsetto. And he was a great songwriter, and he was an excellent guitar player. I highly suggest digging into his discography deeper, but he was somewhat a little bit famous because of his dad, and so he had like some base audience. And in the 90s, he was getting more popularity, and he finally had the album called Grace, which is his main album. But he hadn't been signed to like a official record label. But later on in the 90s, he was in Tennessee, and he had played a show. And I think he said the story is that we know is that he had gotten a call from his agent or his manager saying that he'd gotten a deal with Sony, and then like Sony was interested in actually putting an album out with him, and he was going to be part of like a major record label. And things were going to happen for him and all this other stuff. And him and his friends, his bandmates, went out and they were drinking near the river in Tennessee, and they were all kind of like drinking and I don't know, maybe skinny dipping, and they were all swimming in this river, and a boat ended up coming by, and Jeff never came out of the water. Like they couldn't
Wow.
find him, and he drowned, and all this stuff. But the crazy part of all this is that a lot of his music that he wrote, if you listen to it, it's all talking about how he knew he was going to die early and how he was going to
Mm.
die young, and that he even said in one of his songs like something about drowning. So he drowned in the river, celebrating the next step of his career, to not only never be able to celebrate it and never to make that happen, and
Oh,
also at
that's
the same
tragic.
time
Yeah.
made the music that he wrote actually come true. And so that's why the story of Jeff Buckley, like I'm waiting for the biopic. I already knew. I thought James Franco would play him 10 years ago, maybe, but that
Yeah,
opportunity never happened.
that's not gonna. Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
for
But
obvious reasons. But
yeah.
yeah.
But maybe the dude who's playing Bob Dylan, he could probably pull off Jeff Buckley. The
Oh,
Timothy
Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet, yeah, he's a good kid. But
Mm.
anyways, look more into Jeff Buckley. But I found him after the fact, and when I learned the story of his passing, I was like, this is tragic. This guy should have had way more albums, and could have had an amazing career and been done so much stuff, but he wasn't here. But yeah. And then my other two would be Randy Rhoads, because he was 25 and amazing guitar player. He didn't even like to do drugs or drink that much, which he was like a straight edge guy. And then obviously Dimebag Darrell. That whole thing was just
Mm.
ridiculous, and it should have never happened. So those are my top three of of people passing away. They should.
Yeah. Though
Yeah.
those always hit hard, like
Mhm.
especially if you're super familiar with them.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of passing.
Yeah, the inspiration for this
Mhm.
icebreaker was like not too long before coming on here, we saw the news that filmmaker David Lynch passed away, and he's
Mhm.
also a musician. Or
Mhm.
yeah, he was a musician, and he even collaborated with Julie Cruz and Angelo Badalamenti, who were also
Mhm.
great musicians, part of the soundtrack of Twin Peaks, and all of
Yep.
them are gone.
Mhm.
And yeah,
He
it just
he wrote Twin Peaks. He wrote the show, right?
yeah, he co-created it with Mark Frost, and
And he did Dune, the original
yeah,
Dune movie.
yeah, like he wasn't really happy with that one, but
It wasn't
um
that bad. It was pretty good. I liked it.
yeah. I mean, for me, I prefer like other works of his, like Inland Empire,
Mhm.
Mulholland Drive,
Yeah, Mulholland
but
Drive was good.
yeah, he had a good ear for sound
Mhm.
mixing.
Mhm.
And yeah, like the original Twin Peaks show, he co-created it and wrote certain episodes, and other people wrote certain episodes. But when they brought back the show, he
Mhm.
like it was pretty much like his thing. Like he was able to write on all of them, and so it felt more like a Lynch movie, just longer
Yeah,
type
I could
thing.
see that.
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, I'm gonna watch Eraserhead at some point now, because now that I've seen the wiki page, like I've never seen the Eraserhead, so I'd like to watch that. I'm assuming you've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen
Mhm.
all his
Yeah,
films. Yeah,
that's cool. You gotta fill me on the details of that later. Okay.
right.
Moving on into this day in music, I see you've got a Radiohead tidbit for me. That's
Yeah,
funny.
I figured you'd like that one.
Yeah. So on this day in 2008, I almost could maybe remember this, I would think, because I was a Radiohead fan kind of in 2008. They were forced to abandon a gig at the Rough Trade East Records in London after police raised safety concerns. The band moved the gig to a club about after 1,500 fans turned up after the event was announced in the morning, and then promising tickets to the first 200 fans. I feel like I remember this.
Yeah,
They've
I
had a
think
lot of
I read
weird.
about this at
Mhm,
some point, because when I was like gathering these, I was like, this sounds really familiar.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had a couple different weird issues with going to gigs like back then, they were getting really bigger. Like a lot, they were getting a lot of momentum back then because that was when In Rainbows came out, and that was one of their biggest albums. So
Oh
I can
yeah,
see
that's a
that.
big one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great album. All right, what else we got, Steven?
Yeah, so also on this day, January 16th, 2005, and folks, chime in on any of the stuff we've talked about, whether it be the icebreaker off the top of which musician passings like
Mm-hmm.
impacted you, or any of these like on this day things we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and these bands involved. So 2005, The Killers started a
Mm-hmm.
2 week run at number one on the UK charts with their album Hot Fuss. So that's a really
Mm-hmm.
big
That
one.
was a good album.
Yeah. The Las Vegas band also entered the UK singles chart at number three with Somebody Told Me.
Somebody told me. I always
Yeah.
refer to the Killers as the Christian band nobody knows about. Look it
Yeah,
up.
what they did that song when you were young, right? That was
Mm-hmm.
them.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I remember playing that on Guitar Hero 3
Yep.
back in the
Oh
day.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun
Yeah.
one.
Yep. Yeah. Look it up. Look it up. The most profitable and famous Christian band that nobody knows is Christian. Well, they're not. They're Mormon, but it's cool. Either way. In 1992, so it would be what, January 16th,
16th.
1992. I was 4 years old here. Eric Clapton recorded his unplugged session for MTV, and the set included his current hit single "Tears in Heaven." I love that song, and a reworked acoustic version of "Layla," and that earned 6 Grammy Awards for the album, including Record of the Year. Nice.
Nice.
Hmm.
And in 1988, Tina Turner gave herself a place in the record books when she performed in front of
Wow.
182,000 people in Rio de Janeiro,
Jesus.
the largest audience ever for a single artist.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's a lot of people. God.
yeah, it's like you get the 182 and Blink 182 and just multiply it by 1,000. It's a lot, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, what do we have on our upcoming events?
Right. So regarding Drum Talk TV Brilliance, our membership site,
Yeah.
just as a reminder to people, this month is our 12-year anniversary of Drum Talk TV. So at drumtalktvbrilliance.com, where you have access to exclusive videos and concerts and Q&As that we live stream now and then. You can get in with a discount code. Uh, it's DTTVB312 because it's
Hmm.
$12 for 3 months altogether. So
Yep.
normally it's $12 per month, but with this deal, this discount, you get basically 2 free months in addition to the one. So it's a really good deal, everyone.
Yeah, that's not bad. And plus, there's a lot of perks. And speaking of the perks, as a member, you get to do a little extra stuff that non-members don't get. So for one of those, we have the Phil Collins challenge that's happening this month. If you are a drummer and you love Phil Collins, this is just for you. I, for one, am a huge Phil Collins fan, and I'm envious that my drums will never sound like his drums. So sometimes I just give up before I even try. Anyways, but this month we have a challenge where if you submit a performance of yourself playing along to any kind of Phil Collins performance, and that could be his solo stuff, Genesis, things he did with Tears for Fears or Robert Plant, any of those go. You record yourself playing along to an official track, not a bootleg, not a live, but an official track. And you submit it through our challenge page. You can win up to $125 gift certificate to any music store that you like. It could be $125, $75, $50 for first, second, and third. But the benefits of being a member is that you can send in as many submissions as you want. So if you want to send in 5 songs, that's going to increase your chances of winning. But unfortunately, if you are only a free member, you can submit 2, and that's it. So
Yeah.
it benefits if you are a member. If you're interested in joining, all you have to do is go to drumtalktvbrilliance.com. There's a link right at the top that says Phil Collins Challenge. It's got all the information on how to sign up there, and you can join from there.
Yeah, and we have a video with the instructions on like how to make the video. So go ahead and play that now.
Phil
Yeah.
Collins, a legend, an amazing drummer, a musician who redefined the sound of an era. From his groundbreaking drumming with Genesis to his chart-topping solo career and working with artists Robert Plant, Eric Clapton, and many others. Phil has sold over 150 million albums, won 8 Grammys, an Academy Award, and left an indelible mark on music history. His iconic beats and unforgettable melodies continue to inspire generations. We are excited to announce our Phil Collins Play Along Drumming Challenge, all during the month of January, to honor him during his birthday month. Here's how you can be part of it. Choose any track that Phil Collins has played drums on. This can be with Genesis, his solo career, Brand X, Robert Plant, Eric Clapton, Tears for Fears, or any others. Video record yourself playing along to the track with your camera in horizontal mode. Submit your video on the challenge page located inside your Drum Talk TV Brilliance account. You don't have one yet? Then go to www.drumtalktvbrilliance.com and set one up. It only takes a quick moment. Your video or videos will be reviewed and judged based on 4 main elements, which are on the submission page. The top 3 winners get prizes ranging from $50 to up to $125 gift certificate to their favorite music store. So join us in celebrating one of the greatest drummers with over 5 decades of great music. Sign up to our free Brilliance Showcase at www.drumtalktvbrilliance.com and fill January with Phil.
Yeah.
Nice. And folks, just a little side note. If I sound like a little quiet, it's because, this week I've been getting over something in my throat. My mic has been up, like both on the mic and on the StreamYard thing, but I scooted closer just now, so hopefully I sound fine. But yeah, join the challenge and show us your stuff, everyone.
Yes. And for those who are all members already, who are already participating, we have new videos from Dan, who gives everybody a couple pro tips on how to make the best video, maybe how to frame the angles, like the audio settings, stuff like that. So if you're a member, go log in, check them out. They're right there on the page for the showcase page.
For sure. And speaking of Dan, he says, "Are you two causing trouble again?" Thanks for tuning in.
Always.
Yeah. And we also have, Harry Whitley, who's currently in the band Asia. He says, "Evening." Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Harry.
And Bella Lugrisi says hello at Yes Shift and all. Yeah, because we're simulcasting on Yes Shift as well as Drum Talk TV. And we have something else that I'll mention that's coming up on Yes Shift later on. But for now, real quick, I just want to mention that another perk for members of Drum Talk TV Brilliance is that they'll be sent access to an upcoming online fan Q&A with music journalist Chris Welch. He's traveled with Led Zeppelin, and he's spoken to members of Yes and with Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Like he's talked to a lot of people.
Traveled with Led Zeppelin, traveled with lots of bands in the 70s.
Yeah, so it's like I'm sure lots of you will have lots of questions for him, so try to think of one. And this video, so this takes place Saturday, January 18th, noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, that's US times, and 8 p.m. UK time. And I'll go ahead and show this video here and then explain a bit more. I think I did load it, so here it is.
Let's go.
Hello, I'm Chris Welch. You may know me for my music journalism work on Melody Maker, Musicians Only, and Kerrang! Or even my books. They include Close to the Edge, The Story of Yes, Hendrix, a biography, John Bonham, A Thunder of Drums, and Keith Emerson, the official illustrated story, just to name a few. You can join me for a Q&A where you, the fans, can ask me some questions. Join Drum Talk TV Brilliance over at drumtalktvbrilliance.com. Don't forget the .com.
You heard him, folks. Read the details in the description. Become a member of Drum Talk TV Brilliance and RSVP on our event page listed on our calendar to receive access. You can even use our discount code, which is valid throughout January, DTTVB312, and you'll only pay $12 to have a total of 3 months as a premium member. The Q&A session is Saturday, January 18th, 12 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. UK time. You'll be sent a link to Spatial, where our virtual environment in which you can watch the full Q&A is. Try out the site on different browsers or download the app on your phone for free and see what works best. Next to a sign in the virtual environment, you can click View below where it says Ask Chris, and you'll be redirected to StreamYard. Submit your question to be approved and have a chance to ask Chris himself, as long as it's not too out there or rude. You'll be on screen with Chris in the virtual theater as you ask your question and during the time of his answer. Join us!
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there for that because I have some ideas for some questions that
Nice.
I'd like to ask.
Yeah, so folks, become a Drum Talk TV Brilliance member and RSVP on the event calendar, and yeah, that'll guarantee that you get into this event and you can be in the virtual environment. You can get redirected to where you can ask your question, and we might pick it if it's not too crazy, which I don't know why you would ask a crazy question, but yeah, you'd be on screen with Chris and could ask him directly. So lots of fun, great opportunity right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Also, next week on Tuesday, January 21st, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we have another trivia game, and this time it's going to be funk themed. And there will be 3 rounds. Each round will have about $50 in prizes, and it's an open house game up until the 3rd round. And there is more details on our event page. It's going to be a very fun game. We've got a lot of people RSVP'd already, so make sure you join and don't miss out. So roll a video on that one.
Question 5, here we go. Continuing with the 70s, my favorite era of music. Which guitarist replaced Peter Green and Fleetwood Mac, leading to a significant change in their sound? Was it Billy Gibbons, Jackson Browne, Lindsey Buckingham, or Joe Walsh? Ooh, 14% for Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top and 86% of Lindsey Buckingham, not too coincidentally, of Lindsey Buckingham and Fleetwood Mac. Good one. Watch the leaderboard. Let's see what happens. Keep your eye on it. Who could tell me what Abacab stands for? Like, how'd they come up with that name, Abacab? Digital hand, look.
The section A, section B, and section C of the tune, and kind of back and forth. And
it's the structure of the song. Exactly. Free shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Let's
don't
go.
miss out, folks.
Have a cab.
Yeah.
I knew that. I wasn't in that game, but I wish I could have been there because Daniel told me that years ago.
You might have won.
I probably would have, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. And then our last event we have.
Oh yeah, so we have some upcoming stuff. So on our site, there's an event calendar. You can see what's coming up. We recently did a couple interviews. The other day, Dad did another bass education interview with Jeff Berlin. It was a really great discussion. And shortly before we came on here, he interviewed Duncan Forrester about his yellow drum kit. He does like some restoration, modification type stuff. It was a really fun discussion. Like there were some really great pictures and stuff. It was really cool.
Cool.
And this evening, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, Dad and I will be doing a Yes Shift interview. So it'll be simulcast on there and on Drum Talk TV with guitarist Johnny Bruns, who's been in a couple Yes tribute bands, and he's also played with members of Yes and bands like Circa and Yoso, and a couple other things. And I actually have a clip queued up here from 2012. So this would have been from Bass Player Live, where original Yes bassist Chris Squire, again, you know, the late great Chris Squire, he got a Lifetime Achievement Award, I believe it was. And so at this event, he performed with a few people. So Johnny Bruns was the guitarist for this. Current Yes vocalist John Davison was the singer by that point. He had joined a few months before this. And you also see Taylor Hawkins on drums in this clip because he is a longtime friend of John Davison. So yeah, I'll go ahead and play. It's a 2-minute excerpt of highlights from this Yes song, I've Seen All Good People. Check it out. I've seen all good people turn their heads to stay so satisfied. I'm on my way. Yeah, Taylor Hawkins, that's another one who was gone too soon.
Yeah. He was killing it on those drums, man. He was perfect. It was like lined up just right.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Yes songs. And for some reason, when I was younger, I kept thinking that Styx did that song.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like very epic-y in the very beginning, but then after you get like past that singing part, it's the bass kicks in, and you're like, oh yeah, that's Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I could kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, it gave me vibes of a Styx song, and I was like, this sounds like Styx, but yeah. Anyways, I get over it.
Right. Okay, so on to
Music
music news. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is the last part. Out of respect of the LA fires, The Weeknd has delayed the release of his new album, which ironically me and you talked about like what 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, within the past month.
Yeah, within the past
Yeah.
month we talked about this. And it's the album's called Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is the third part of his album series with the last two albums he's done with Blinding Lights. So he's delayed that to the 31st, and then his album release show at the Rose Bowl has been canceled. So anybody who bought tickets through Ticketmaster will get refunds and all that stuff. So I'm still looking forward to hearing the album. So it's just gonna be good.
Yeah, and I don't remember if I mentioned it on the show, but I think I told you off air, but I did listen to Dawn FM, which you recommended. Yeah.
You listened to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you never messaged me. I said message me when you listened to it so I could hear what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I think I messaged in one of the... well, anyway, so I thought it was really good.
You liked it?
Yeah, like the radio show idea is a fun one. It's something that the Who tried in the past, but this is a different take on it. And yeah, I thought it was really creative.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you have Jim Carrey is the VJ for the radio you'll hear in the afterlife is, I mean, that's a pretty unique concept. And I think that alone sells it for me. So did you hear like the good like Quincy Jones vibes and how he produced the album, like very similar to like
I could feel the influence there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's such a great album. I'm glad you listened to it. So thanks for doing that. All right, what's your news?
Right. So another thing, 9 Inch Nails have decided to hold off on their official announcement of their tour that's happening this year. So again, we're seeing in real time how, the LA fires, obviously a huge, terrible thing that's been going on. And we see that people are shifting things around out of respect, and rightly so. But yeah, it's like an industry affecting thing because, of course, so many people in LA and some of the music related stuff is in LA. And of course, just watching it from afar, it's a lot, And
we'll have some news coming out about something we're doing about that soon. No details given, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, we have some stuff to look into.
We have ideas. We have plans. Right. All right, last news bit. Ringo Starr's Nashville playing the Ringo Starr's Nashville? Sorry. So he's playing in Nashville Auditorium. That will air this spring on CBS and Paramount Plus, and some of those proceeds will go to the wildfire relief that's happening in Los Angeles. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there have definitely been some people contributing to like the relief, and it's really inspiring to see. Yeah.
All right. I just hold on to sneeze so hard.
Yeah, I know. But,
okay. All right. Cool.
Well, everyone's rallying together, and it's always inspiring to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll follow that up with next week's news desk and have more details on what we're planning to help contribute. So we're excited about that. All right. Well, it was good talking to you, Steven, as always, for our news desk report. Remember, everybody, if you have questions about signing up for the membership, make sure you go to DrumTalkTVBrilliance.com with the Phil Collins Challenge. We got the Funk Trivia and also the Chris Welch Q&A we have going on Saturday. So any questions, either you can always message us here on Facebook or check out the site.
For sure. So until next time, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you all soon.